So on the 14th of September 2024, I'm leading a 25-day Tai Chi walking series with my students of the Mastering Tai Chi Fundamentals course that I released earlier in this year. So to gain access to this course, to the course itself and also to the 25 days of Tai Chi walking, click on the link above or below this clip and you can gain access to that course. And it's lifetime access once you enroll. The Tai Chi walking is one aspect of the Fundamentals of Tai Chi course, and this 25 days is really exploring the 6 methods within that Fundamentals course. So why focus on the Tai Chi walking? The legs are the fundamental part of the practice to really get right, get strong, really good alignments, learn how to use all the principles of Tai Chi. A lot of it's in the legs, so how to tuck your pelvis a little bit and when it shouldn't be tucked to, how to spring load the qua, so that where I'm pointing now, that's the qua, how to spring load that area, how to align your knees properly, relax your knees so force goes through your knees and not into the knees, how to have a good sense of weighting and pressure through the tripod of the foot, which I showed just a moment ago when I was pointing to my foot, that's the tripod. So weight needs to always be going through the tripod because it helps internal rotation in the hip, supports the knee, gets the right muscles activating, gets the fascia activating as well. So the 25 days is continuous, so every day we do practice, and it's going to be light, medium, and heavy days. So we can't train hard every day. We're asking for injuries if that's the case. People have different body conditions to begin with. So some days is a big focus on sitting. So just getting the hip joints moving, getting the tibias, be able to internally, externally rotate, that's massive. Because it links in with the pronation of the foot and the movement of the midfoot. If the midfoot's really stiff, there's usually problems. There can be problems in the knees, usually stiff or can be pain. And the hips don't have very good flexibility generally too. And we really want to be able to open up the waist as well. So this exercise is to really open up all the joints in the lumbar spine and the sacroiliac joint. This exercise is showing how to open up the lower fibers of the glutes while also expanding the rib cage towards the back. So it's really important to get because it influences the position of your pelvis in space. If you can't expand through the back of your rib cage, there's more of a sense of your center of mass pushing forward, and that means that there's more pressure in the front of the feet all the time. The hip flexors are always tight. The diaphragm can't even function as adequately as it could. So the practice will be 30 minutes each day. And part of the practice is also a lot of prehab exercises too. So we'll do at least one prehab exercise every day. And that's to ensure that the tissues of the body are affected in the best way. So we're releasing the bottom of the feet, getting good pronation going through the legs. And what I'm showing here is exercise to really open up and ensure good pronation going through the heel and the midfoot. And if that's not happening, it's really difficult to ground your neurology for the brain to sense into your feet properly. So then if it can't ground properly, it grounds through your hip in usually a dysfunctional way, or it grounds through the knee. So the knee is a weight transfer joint, means that force should go through it, not into the knee, not stay there. So these exercises will make sure that you can transfer weight through the knee into the foot can pronate. The hip can follow and then move into a side motion as showing there. Circle walking is part of it. This comes from Tai Chi, it's not from Bagua, even though there's a big overlap. And the circle walking helps dramatically with the internal rotation of the hip and also the internal rotation of the tibia. The close of the form is important. So the timing of the movements, this will be part of the training too. And then we're doing movements that are really modified. So this is an easy exercise. And then you can make it a lot harder by lifting the leg, keeping the leg up. So we're strengthening the hip flexors here, strengthening the quads, balance, working the ankle in full range. Most hip flexors, people think they need to stretch them, but most of the time they need to be strengthened. So that's what that does. And then this is one of the early beginning exercises for Tai Chi walking. It's just learning how to shift your weight, maintaining a good spine alignment, top relaxed, a good frame in the body, or staying relaxed downwards. And qua squats, this is a fundamental principle. I tell people it takes at least a year to be able to get good at qua squats. Either you might pick it up within 1 lesson or 2 lessons, the concept of it. For the tissue to change and do well, we're looking at about a year. Then the circle qua squats, circle arm qua squats, connects the back. So it's really good for power generation here, the body to link and connect. So as I sink, it's not just the arms pulling down, but I'm using the whole body to sink. And in Tai Chi, the shoulders are always relaxed and down. They never come up. So we're connecting into the ground all the time and then lifting with a leverage from the wrist so the whole body can link together. There's a concavity that happens with good Tai Chi practice because it actually connects the body better. The whole body becomes a unit. And we want to free up the spine. So a lot of people with knee injuries, I found, or hip injuries, they have a spine that's not that flexible. And if you've ever injured your back, it makes you feel like an old person. So it's a big thing in Tai Chi. If you really want to feel young, maybe flexible and mobile, you need a flexible, strong spine. And that's a big part of what the Tai Chi walking can develop. The stronger your legs are, the better the alignment, it connects to the ground, the actually healthier the spine can become because it can actually rest into the base properly. And this is the opening of all Tai Chi movements. So when I do this movement here, when you first start, you feel just the shoulder working. In time, you feel it between the shoulder blades stretching. Then as you practice more and more, you feel that as soon as you start, you feel the pressure go into your feet. So as you lift your arm, there's a sense of pressure going downwards, which is really good. And the arms need to connect with the spine. It's not just arms hanging in space. And this here, the dragon stepping, that's a primary exercise we're working on before we move into the more traditional Tai Chi walking. And adding arms, being really clear about where the weight needs to be at different times, that's all a big part of the practice. And towards the end, we add the arms. So once the leg alignments are formed, the qualities are there, we add the arms. And then the idea is that you can still integrate all those things in the legs without losing it. So the brush knee and repulsed monkey. And then turning the hip in. How to turn in Tai Chi walking is really important. Just the foot turning inwards strengthens the tibialis posterior muscle, which is huge for the foot and the whole leg. So please gain access, check on the link.